So my journey started like back when I used to live in the reservation. I always wanted to be in veterinary medicine. I wanted to work with animals, and that's what I was set on. And my parents brought me to Winnipeg. So I went to school at Sisler High. I graduated with honors and a scholarship, and I came here to U of M. And that was my goal, was to do veterinary medicine, but life didn't happen like that. I had a lot of deaths in my family, and I think I struggled with finding community as well, because being an Indigenous student in science, I didn't really see a lot of representation here as well. I guess just finding someone like me doing what I'm doing was really hard. So I really kept to myself. My first degree is in general biology, and I graduated with that in 2019. And that was very my go to school, come home, keep to myself. I went on a field course with Dr. Roth up to Churchill to work with Arctic foxes. And then that's where I fell in love with field research. I just loved it. I loved the physicality of it, the thinking on the spot, the research, just the environment, working on the land, and then also with the animals when I graduated in 2019. And I came back and I was like, I want to do ecology. And I wanted to work with either Dr. Roth or Dr. Waterman. That was always the goal. So I came here. I wanted it to be different this time around. So I purposely made friends in all my classes. I try not to miss a day. I was so focused. It's just a different mindset for me. And I did really well. And that's how I came to be here. I'm graduating this spring with ecology and environmental biology degree. And I have minors in archaeology and Indigenous studies as well.
And so my story started in science as a high school student. I really fell in love with biology, physics, and chemistry. I had some amazing teachers, so I knew science was in my future. So when I continued on to university, microbiology sort of captured my heart. I loved it. I breathed it, essentially. I did a lot of co-op terms, and it was through co-op that I really gained that experiential learning opportunity where what I was learning in my books really came into reality. My journey was, again, as a graduate student, going through and really loving that research part of it, putting puzzle pieces together and making discoveries, which was absolutely amazing.
My journey in science started in 2007 when I started as an undergraduate at the University of Manitoba. I graduated with my bachelor's in 2014 as a single parent, and then I graduated a second time in 2014 with a second undergraduate degree. I continued my science education here in the Department of Biological Sciences with Dr. Jeffrey Marcus, working on the Buckeye butterflies. And after completing my master's, I loved working with him so much that I also pursued a PhD, which I graduated with in 2022.
One of the biggest challenges I had was when I was an undergrad, finishing up my last co-op term. My dad had passed away during the last 2/3 of my co-op work term. So obviously it was mentally and very emotional a challenge for me. You know, my dad and I were pretty close. And I had to take some time off, but I had some really great mentors. And my mom, of course, who was amazingly strong and super supportive. Of course, I wanted to be supportive to her too. But I also had a really great mentor who talked to me about grad school. I had chatted with my dad previously about, going to grad school, and that's what he would have wanted for me. So I knew that I had to do that. So even though it was challenging, it really helped me realize what I wanted to do and how I wanted to make my dad proud. And I'm sure he is super proud now.
I had my son my first year of university, so that was challenging. I also didn't know about any of the resources on campus. I didn't know what was available for awards and scholarships, and so the financial aspect was very challenging, as was the parenting, but I had a really great support team off campus who didn't really understand what it was like to be a student, but they supported me the best that they could. And I finally did make it. And by the time I was a graduate student, I had a really great mentor. My PhD, or my advisor, was really great and introduced me to what all of the awards and bursaries were and some of the resources that were available. And from there, I was able to I knew where to find things. And so that's one of the things that I think is really important that we teach students from the beginning is where the resources are, what awards and bursaries are to help with that financial strain, and just everything that, being your own advocate is really important.
My proudest achievement is definitely winning an insert award last summer, and I got to work under Dr. Waterman, which was a dream. And I got to go to South Africa for the summer, so that was really fun. And I came home and I brought my research home, and I ended up presenting the preliminary results at the Wildlife Society as well. So that was really fun, and my dream is to work still under Dr. Waterman and go back. I made a lot of friends, a lot of memories, and I love field science. It's so fun.
One of my major achievements is finishing my PhD in microbiology, but the other one, just recently, I've landed my dream job. I am now the Wawate Academic Program Lead, and I couldn't be more happier than being here in this moment, being here to be able to help students get through their science degree, especially Indigenous students like myself, and providing those opportunities and supports that I never had going through undergraduates.
My proudest achievement was when I published my first paper. That was like a big achievement. Graduating with my first bachelor's degree, I think, was my biggest achievement for myself. Just knowing that I could actually do it when I had a lot of people telling me I couldn't. And then after, like, grad school, they're really great achievements as well. But I knew I was going to be able to do it because I did the bachelor's degree. I think that's the biggest achievement.